What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Today, I'm going to talk about the Sanctum of Domination socket tier pieces for Destruction Warlock and how they benefit them. We're going to cover the shards themselves, then I'm going to cover each tier set bonus, and finally I'm going to cover how they interact with each other, why is it better to do certain shards over others, that type of thing. So without further ado, let's get into the Shards of Domination. So, with 9.1 comes the Sanctum of Domination raid. You have 9 separate shards that you can potentially get out of the raid. And I say potentially on purpose. Over the course of the raid, you could go multiple weeks without even seeing one shard right now. They did hotfix it so you could go to Sylvanas and get a shard, but that is pretty slow. Sorry if you end up with that luck. Once we get into this, Soulfire Chisel is something you will want to get off of Bonesmith Hermir, because what this thing does is it extracts an embedded Shard of Domination from one of your socketed items. After you get this, you don't need to rebuy it. It is permanently, forever useful. They should just honestly remove it from the vendor if that character has it, because I already bought one. But that's to be further discussed. On top of all of that, if you delete a shard out of your thing by dragging another one onto it, you have to go refarm it. There is an add-on that I will link to in the description below to CurseForge called Domination Socket Helper that completely negates this. If I were to open this up, I have to click remove before I add another shard, because if I grab this, literally won't let you drop it on top. So I recommend getting this add-on. It'll help you not delete shards in the future. There are 3 separate tier bonuses Destruction can go after for the Shards of Domination. There is Unholy, which comes off the Helms, off of Remnant or Sylvanas. There is Frost, which comes off Kel'Thuzad or the Nine. And then there is Blood, which comes off of Fatescribe and Painsmith. You want to be going after the Unholy set, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. But before I get into that, we're going to talk about each of the 9 shards. These 9 shards are 3 Unholy, 3 Frost, 3 Blood. I have all 9 of each. Luckily, I just don't have the Domination socket pieces to put them in. I'm kind of on the other boat of things. But Clothies can go after Helm, Shoulders, Chest, and then the 2 extra pieces are wrists and belt. If you unfortunately crafted Wilfred's in the wrist slot, you're going to have to craft it into a ring. Otherwise, just stick with your cinders. It's still very useful. But the 3 Unholies are Shard of D's, which is the damaging shard. Shard of Zed, which is kind of the support shard, and Shard of Oath, which is a speed kind of quality of life shard. You're going to want to upgrade all 3 of these to rank 4 as soon as possible. Basically, if one of these are rank 3 or below, or if all of them are the same rank, so if they all hit 1, and then they all hit 2, and they all hit 3, how these tier set bonuses work is the lowest shard is what determines your tier set bonus. So if I have 2 shards at rank 3 and 1 shard at rank 2, it's going to go think that I have 3 shards at rank 2. It's kind of dumb, but the quicker you can get all 3 shards to the same rank, the better. So if we get all of them to rank 4 as quickly as possible and then upgrade them to rank 5, that would be your best bet. The reason I said go after Unholy first is Unholy has Chaos Bane. Chaos Bane does this. Socketing 3 or more Unholy shards, that's a tooltip bug. Chaos Bane rips soul fragments from enemies you damage, increasing your primary stat and dealing shadow damage. So, every 15 stacks of this buff gives you intellect for Destro. At 15 stacks, it deals a ton of damage, gives you a ton of int, and resets itself to basically be a loop. Intellect is extremely useful for destruction. This is why we go after this tier set first. If you cannot get Unholy, it is Unholy, and then Frost, and then Blood, in that order. So, in order of importance. Frost is better than Blood, but worse than Unholy, and Blood is worse than both of them. So, that is kind of how you want to go after that. For the Frost set, you're going to want the shoulders, right? The ones off Kel'Thuzad are higher item level, but Frost Shard is 3 Frost Shards give Winds of Winter, which is a crit bonus. The Winds of Winter periodically unleashes a shield to damage your enemies based on crits. So after a certain amount of crits, after 20 seconds, you unleash a shield that deals a ton of damage, shielding you for that amount. This is why it's second best for destruction. It's heavily reliant on how much you crit during this window, and since the only way you can reliably crit on Destro is Chaos Bolt, it is lackluster. It is not one that you want to go after first. These 3 Frost Shards are Shard of Tel, Shard of Cure, and Shard of Core. You want to go after the Shard of Core first, if you can. For the Blood set, we are looking at Blood Link. So after 2 or more Blood Shards are socketed, tooltip bug needs to say 3. Blood Link drains health from enemies and redistributes it to your allies. So you're passively dealing damage and healing people at the same time. Not very useful for destruction. Very useful for your raid though, which is why it's still, like, if you get it, great. If not, don't worry too much about it. The only Blood Shard you're going to want to look at upgrading is the Shard of Beck. Shard of Beck is a Destro's best friend. It is the execute mechanic for destruction. It's one that I would upgrade after your Unholy set. So, that's the 3 Shard sets, and that's how they're used. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comment section below. I have started a Twitter, and I am streaming on twitch.tv/gridlockguides every so often, and I do post live when I stream on my Twitter. I'll link both those in the comment section with the add-on and a Wowhead link to all of these shards in the description below. I hope you have a great day, and happy hunting within the Shards of Domination.